Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Apologies for being a few minutes late, we will start shortly. Well, we'll make a brief start. So hi everyone, Chloe here from the Great British Entrepreneur Awards. Welcome to our 2021 Finalist Announcement Workshops in partnerships with Fund and Options. And thank you for joining us today. This has been a record-breaking year for the Great British Entrepreneur Awards with over 4,800 applications received. And we're really excited today to announce our finalists for the Creative Industries Entrepreneur of the Year category. Before we do this, we are joined today by Lee Wilcox, founder of Electric House. Lee won Great British Entrepreneur of the Year and Creative Industries Entrepreneur of the Year in the Midlands with us in 2017. And he'll be talking today about his entrepreneurial journey and how winning the Great British Entrepreneur Awards has impacted his business. If you would like to ask any questions, if you can pop this in the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and we'll try to get onto these later. And with that, I'll pass over to Courtney Way of Fund and Options, who will be hosting today's session. Thanks, Courtney.
Thanks, Chloe. Hi, everyone. I'm Courtney. I'm the Marketing Director at Funding Options. Funding Options is Europe's leading marketplace for business finance. We connect business owners to the right funding so that they can trade, plan, and grow with confidence. To date, we've helped nearly 10,000 businesses access $500 million in funding. We've also recently launched the Funding Cloud, which is our data-driven platform that connects businesses, lenders, and partners to facilitate fast and secure access to funding. So through Funding Cloud, we've actually been able to reduce the time from loan application right through to credit approved, down from 2 minutes, 56 seconds to just 20 seconds. I'm extremely excited to be here today to talk to Lee and also to help announce the finalists for this year's Creative Industries Entrepreneur of the Year category. So Lee, you ready for the first question?
I am. Morning, Courtney. Okay. Morning, everyone.
Really, really good. Cool. Lee, could you tell us a little bit more about Electric House? How did it all begin?
We were drunk on a Friday night. So like all great businesses and business ideas. So we, myself and Adam Barry, who's like an old school friend, we've grown up with each other as best friends. He was in the trade and I was just a bit of a techie nerd, I guess. And we were just getting drunk on a Friday night in my garden. He was moaning about the fact that he couldn't find a plasterer for a job that he was running within the construction industry. And we came up with this idea to create a recruitment app for the construction industry. And a long story short, we started building a community for tradespeople because we had no marketing budget or any budget, actually. You know, we spent a couple of grand across 3 credit cards just to get this thing built. And then along the way, by building that community, we realized that was more powerful than what the original idea was. And we thought if we can get 100,000 builders in one area on a social platform, we'll build the app, launch it, and we'll be rich. Like that was the detail of the business plan, yeah. And what actually happened after 3 months, we had 250,000 followers via Facebook, and we'd started to like build this community we didn't realize didn't exist online somewhere. They're very, very difficult to reach. So fast forward to what Electric House is now. We grew on the tools to over 3 million followers across multiple platforms, and then we'd started to monetize with brand partnerships. So we started to create video content and work with brands to create content that would give them some kind of return and that was value led for that community. We then started to build partnerships with the social platforms to do the same. And then we realized that we were pretty good at building communities. So we started to acquire and build more of those. And that's where Electric House came in. We knew we needed this brand to sit above our communities. So Electric House is all about building communities that people love. And we use data, technology, and social media to enhance content and be able to do that. So we now sit at just over 10 million UK followers across our 3 flagship communities on the tools, on a budget and ministry of, all very different, but all have that common thread of UK communities. So that's kind of how we've grown in a short story.
Amazing. That is truly, as some of the comments have coming through now, truly inspirational. Lee, I guess for any new business, funding can always be a challenge. Could you tell us a little bit more about your funding journey?
Yeah, so we were pretty proud of the fact that we bootstrapped. So we were very much like, let's be profitable. We're not like at that point, we weren't, although we positioned ourselves as like a tech business with this app. It never launched. We never, it just sat in the ideas graveyard. Still does actually. But we were very proud of the fact that we bootstrapped. And but I think we owned that for too long, right? So I think we didn't think big enough because we were so constrained by profitability. And I think it was really prudent of us. And I think it's definitely made us more aware when we did raise money, because I think what happens is business owners and entrepreneurs will start a business and they'll be like, got to raise money. That's the business model, which I think is dangerous. I think it's really dangerous. On the whole, I think there's some certain businesses that will fit for, but on the whole, I think it's pretty dangerous. So I think a blend of the two is good. We did it a little bit too late, but what did happen was that we, after winning the awards, we just got some notoriety that we didn't have before, and people understood us a bit more because we were very much, as on the tools, very construction led, and that's all that. If we wanted to work with a brand or we wanted to do anything with the platform, it was almost like builders and anyone in construction just walked around with drills. Like, they didn't eat food, they weren't consumers. They were just pigeonholed into this thing. Whereas branching out to electric house, and the only reason we were able to do that was because we raised money, allowed us to then be seen as something different, allowed us to be more broad, more across market. So the winning the awards definitely helped that. And actually, and this is a true story, it might sound like I'm bullshitting here, but I'm not, right? We won the award in the January, or lost the finals award in London in January. And then in February, we were contacted by KPMG in Birmingham, who were looking for fast growth, award-winning, entrepreneurial sort of companies to try and work with on an enterprise level to see if they can match funding. And that's kind of what they did. Like, they introduced us to our investor, and who we haven't looked back from since. It's been brilliant. So
that's amazing. I mean, not every business can say that they've had that opportunity. It's fantastic, and you guys have clearly made the most of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Great. Cool. Next question for you. What role does the creative industries have in the COVID recovery?
Funny, the creative industries, because I've always, I think before being in it, I was always a little bit like, it's a bit fluffy, it's just a load of people lying to each other about their ideas, and some will work, some won't. And I think there is a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of crooks around. But I actually think now I deal with it in a bit more of a macro level. I understand the power and importance it has in terms of where money is spent and the overall economy. And I think ultimately the creative industry sits in between the economy's spend for marketing, right? So people will only buy if our industry is performing well. And that's the reality of it, and actually brands and successful businesses are only built off the back of the creative that sits in the middle of it. It's, if you pull it back to something really, really simple, it's just buying and selling, right? That's the economy, right? And the creative industry sits heavily in the middle of that. And I think before starting the business, because, we didn't start the business to become a marketing company or a creative agency or a publisher, or, and this is the journey we've led to, where we officially are a publisher. We've sort of found our way. I didn't really understand it, but I think it's imperative that the creative industry exists and grows to ensure that I think actually entrepreneurs have got the ability to sell. That's kind of how I position it.
Yeah, amazing. I think a lot of the people watching today will probably agree with you.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
So final question for you, Lee. What has winning the Great British Entrepreneur Awards done for you and your business?
Yeah, well, as I alluded to, it's allowed us to grow and allowed us to grow up, actually. So I think there's a difference, right? You can keep growing and getting bigger, but I think there's a certain point you have to sort of mature and be able to look at the why, and I think what's important about that is that it's having the time and money to do that, right? You start up, and I did it for like, I sort of seen us as a startup for 4 or 5 years, really. We're into sort of 6.5, bordering 7 years now. But and in that period, you don't have the time to go, oh, what's our why? How do we, you don't take the time, because it's all about making sure that you're growing, you've got some traction, and you've got some money to pay the salaries and where you're renting. That's the key part. And I think what winning the awards allowed us to do was raise that money and just step back slightly and be a little bit more objective about the business and go, okay, what's the strategy? Where are we going? We've got some time now to move closer to, our goal was we need cash flow funding to move closer to Birmingham City Centre for talent. We knew that we needed that. And to allow for that resourcing of talent to not break the books in half. Like that was the strategy. And I think without winning those awards, we wouldn't have been contacted by KPMG. That's the reality, right? And I probably wouldn't have reached out to them because I didn't know they had this little enterprise team. I think of KPMG and I think, wow, they're expensive, I'm not going to work with them. It was free. We had free advice for 18 months, and they positioned us and connected us with our investor, who was a private investor in the end. Which I think is, again, has been incredible for us. We're not part of VC or PE at the moment, which was a big part of it for us. So open doors that we didn't think it would be how to position it. Yeah,
that's just amazing. I love that. We have one question quickly for you from the viewers today. Dan Matthews, he's asked, have you done anything to maximize exposure of you and the business with the award?
So at the time that we won the award, we then started to ramp up sort of internal PR. So what we did was we vlogged about trying to raise the money. So we created a series called 99 Problems But the Pitch Ain't One, and we just because we thought, well, how can we don't know what, like the biggest thing was we were like, we don't know what we're doing, we don't know how to raise money, right? We've never done it before. I'm always a believer of like, I'll just own what I know, and what I don't know, I'll just be like, I don't know how to do it, how do we do it? So we were like, well, if we can expose the fact that we're raising money, we might get just a bit of inbound of people going, oh, these people seem like they're doing something interesting, maybe we should talk to them. So we were pretty airs and graces on that coverage, but I don't think we would have done that if we hadn't won the awards, because we had something to talk about. I don't know, that sounds really like shitty, but as if you haven't got something to talk about if you don't win an award. And I don't believe that either. I think there's only one person can win, I guess. But it definitely allowed us to be a bit more confident about what we were talking about and the growth we were getting. So I think it was, we kind of did leverage it in that way.
Right, it's just that sort of stamp of approval, isn't it? That credibility that helps the brand. For
Absolutely.
sure.
And I think even more so with and the thing that I love about the awards is the partners they partner with, right? It's not like in partnership with someone no one's ever heard of. It's always like a big heavyweight, which I think that like really backs up what the awards are about. Definitely.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Lee. It was really good to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks, Courtney.
Meet you. Chloe, I'm going to hand back over to you for the announcement.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lee and Courtney, for joining us today. And Lee, I have to say, I think your GBEA win is one that I'll always remember in person, with your team celebrating when you won. It was just one of the most amazing celebrations I've seen over the years so far. So fantastic. We will head into the announcement. Well, there we have it. Congratulations to everyone who has made our 2021 shortlist. Our team will be in touch via email shortly. And thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to Lee and Courtney again, and hope everyone has a great day.
Well then, to everyone.